Yes, 2015 we began a completely different set of checks, because most of the work had just been on decking and keeping it looking pretty.
Right.
But the checks that we did were into where the cast iron holdings were that hold these bits of the suspension right down in the basement here and in here.
Yeah.
And what we found at the heart of the pedestal was microfractures in the cast iron pedestal.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, it's very brittle and it could shatter. And so
just like that.
Yes, and so because nowadays people make bridges out of steel,
Yeah.
but back then they made it out of cast iron.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing is doing an absolute thorough check first of all, so we can then do a thorough design and then do a thorough set of works with safety at the heart of it, but also making sure that we keep the bridge here for generations to come.
Okay.
So because we're still in the checking stage, because they were quite surprised to find the microfractures,
Yeah.
we've got another 8 weeks of checks. They're saying at the moment up to 3 years, but we're pushing them to get it done quicker. Do you live over here?
I live in Putney.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very nice and quiet now. It's brilliant for biking.
I think what we need to do is to get this fixed
Yeah.
as quickly as we possibly can
Yeah.
and secure it for generations. It's
Yeah.
an architectural piece of heritage. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing, but we also have to then have the question, well, why are we really using a bridge like this for 20,000 cars a day
Yeah.
and 103 buses an hour when it was built for Shire horses at the
Yeah.
heaviest, you know.
Horse and cart.
Yeah.
So is the idea to replace the cast iron with ordinary steel?
They're looking at all sorts of solutions. They can band where the microfractures have appeared. They can put bands around it to hold it. They can use reinforced concrete. So there's a variety of different things.
Okay.
But we have oil rig engineers who are specialists in stress metal technology on structures like this. And what the oil rig engineers are doing is just going through everything, which they do day in, day out when we're out in the North Sea or out in the middle of the Pacific or something, or on fringes of the Pacific. But that's the type of expertise we need in order to get this up to.
So no budget yet?
Well, we had TfL agreed to give us 25 million in 2015, but we think it's going to cost more, because what they agreed to do was to refix the decking
Yeah.
and to paint it and make it fit for their buses.
Yeah.
But actually, this what we found now, no one had ever checked these things before until I asked people to do it in 2015, about a year after we won the election, really, and that's when those checks began, and that's when they found these cracks. I mean, more technically, if you're generally interested, this bit here is obviously part of the suspension bridge.
Yeah.
That's all cast iron as well. But the way it was meant to stress is there's a piece inside that moves like that.
Yeah.
And they think it's been seized up for about 40 years. And because it's not moving, the stresses of the bridge are going down into the pedestal, and that's what's caused.
Not giving any kind of flexible bones.
That's what's caused the fractures, yeah. All of this is new to me, but we're all over it, and I'm determined we're going to get it fixed and back up and running. So what do you think?
Well, I think it's fascinating.